man, this is going to be one of the hardest things I've had to do in a very, very long time. I'm just kidding. It's a channel update. Let's get into it. Greetings, Internet. My name is Dustin, and this is my HomeKit Home. And here we look at the smart home with an Apple HomeKit, scratch that, Apple Home, and accessibility focus. So today's video will be a little bit different from videos I've done in the past because I kind of wanted to give you guys an update as to what's been going on with the channel and what you can sort of expect in the future. So there have been some pretty major changes in my life personally, and it will affect videos going forward. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up. So if you haven't noticed, I haven't posted in about 3 months or so, and I'll tell you why. So I've been legally blind since I was about 18 years old, a little bit before that. And for the most part of my adulthood, my sight had been stable. And you know, throughout university and jobs and these sorts of things. And then about 9 months ago, things started to get a little bit strange. Things, you know, I was seeing things in more cloudy and colors were a little bit strange, and you know, contrast was weird. And so I went to the doctor and I was, well, here's some medicine and deal with that. And then about, I would say, yeah, about 3 months ago, I woke up one morning to edit a video and just couldn't really see the screen. I could see some different contrasts there, but you know, I just couldn't really see the screen. I chalked it up to it being early and just not enough coffee. And of course, having a, you know, 1.5-year-old baby doesn't, you know, lend well to sleeping a whole lot. So I chalked it up to that. But as the day went on, it was obvious that something wasn't quite right in terms of my sight. So I went to the doctor, and turns out that my eye pressure had kind of spiked. And if you know anything about eye pressure and high eye pressure, which is essentially glaucoma, then you'll know that once damage has been done to the optic nerve, there's really no going back. So with all of that being said, essentially, I can't really see anything. I've got some light perception, very, very vague shadows every now and then, but it's nothing that I can really use in terms of sight. So I, in the last 3 months, have been kind of relearning how to do things. Thankfully, I had a lot of experience because I've been legally blind for about 20 years, but you know, relied pretty heavily on the vision that I did have. But now that I don't really have any vision, things have kind of changed, and kind of adapting and you know, learning how to do things again, and that includes using all of my Apple devices. Thankfully, Apple is a baller when it comes to accessibility, and I've been able to adapt pretty well there. There are a lot of things to learn, and it is a huge undertaking, and things just aren't the same as doing it when you can see. So that's what I've been doing over the last 3 months. Now, in terms of what to look forward to for the future, so the videos aren't going to change much. So I'm going to be learning. This is a whole learning process, and that's really what my HomeKit Home has been from the beginning. I had no idea when I started this what content creation was, had no idea about any sort of website design and video production and really anything about any of this stuff. And I've been learning and growing, and I wanted to share that with you. And that's really what my HomeKit Home was, right? And is still to this day. And you know, it's me building out my smart home using HomeKit or Apple Home, and wanting to share that with others. And you know, that's not going to change. That essential fundamental part of what my HomeKit Home is will not change. The videos, they probably are going to change. The production quality probably won't be as high. The editing and these sorts of things, probably, I can't guarantee it, but at least at the beginning is going to be a little bit more straightforward, and that may be a good thing, that may be a bad thing. That's all very, very personal opinion. But it's just the nature of how things have to be as I sort of learn how to do video production without actually being able to see the video. And so that's one thing that will change. Product reviews are still going to be there. I'm going to sort of stay along the same tracks that I've been with the last few videos, talking about the product in general terms, and then kind of adding a part about accessibility because I do think it is very important. And then following that up on the blog with a more detailed, in-depth discussion on what we can look at in terms of accessibility for a product. In terms of how-tos, there will be some how-tos that are for everybody. The channel is essentially for everybody. It's not just for people with blindness or for people with disabilities. It is a smart home and HomeKit channel, but it just happens to be run by a creator who just happens to be blind. And so I can't deny and I can't get around that fact, and I do have to mention it. So specifics in terms of what's going to be happening in the future, there will be a myHomeKithome podcast. I've been wanting to do a podcast well before any of this medical madness happened, and this is just a great opportunity for me to do it. Again, I have no idea what it takes to make a podcast. I've got some ideas on what I can do in terms of the content, recording, but again, I need to learn how to edit, how to host all of these different things. It will be there. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it's going to be there. And what I sort of see it as being is essentially just a podcast that looks at a little bit of news. It's not a news report. Simon from HomeKit News has that down pat, and I'm not going to try to, I can't hold a candle to him. But we'll pick and choose some different news things and sort of talk about that and let that lead into a bigger, more overarching theme in HomeKit, accessibility, and the smart home in general, which I'll discuss in more detail. So, for example, in the first episode, I'm planning on looking at a bit of news and discussing some of the differences between Zigbee and Thread, but looking at it not like I did in my Zigbee versus Thread video, but more in terms of the actual day-to-day, what it's like, what are some of the differences, what are some of the, the big things that I'm noticing using both of these network protocols in my home on a daily basis, and looking at where these two protocols stand, their future, their past, and just kind of where they are in general. So that's something you have to look forward to. If, I don't know anything about hosting again, so I may just put the first episode up here on the channel, kind of get a feel for what people are thinking about it, and go from there. So that's one thing to look forward to. Another big change to the channel, if you're following me on social media, and you should, at myHomeKithome, is channel memberships. So I have recently set up at least one level of channel memberships, and with these channel memberships, you'll get sort of a behind the scenes look at how I'm changing, what is going on with the channel, how I'm adapting, what I'm doing to adapt, sort of how I'm creating content as a person with blindness, right? And I am pretty excited about that part of it. It's like a personal vlog that I'm able to do. There will be videos, there will be regular status updates, there will be behind the scenes looking at products, right? Some things that no one else is going to get to see. You'll have early access to videos, you'll get badges, you'll get all of these different perks, which you can read about by clicking that join button just down below the video there. But I really want to encourage you to kind of follow me along this journey. And so, I want to share that whole process with you guys and just sort of let you know what's going on with that process, but also just the rad HomeKit stuff, right? Like what projects I've got working on just sort of personally, what projects I'm working on here for the channel. So definitely consider becoming a member. It's going to go a long way to helping out the channel and helping to grow and allow me to continue to to learn and to grow and to share all of that with you guys. Again, I do want to reiterate that nothing's going to change about the videos themselves. These are just some extra perks that people will be able to get if you decide to support me even further. And of course, it's much appreciated, and you can find all the information about how to become a channel member and the thanks and all these things in the description box just below that like button. So that's pretty much what I've got going on for now. I've been rambling a bit too long, and I don't want to, I don't want it to drag on. So I thank you for watching. I'm super excited to be back, and that's really all that I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and take care.